Please note the disclaimer. I really do love the Sarah Jane adventures, and in fact, I can't really think of a story that I actually hate. Though these stories, I do dislike parts of them, but I like other parts of them. But these are definitely the top 3 worst Sarah Jane Adventures stories. So, let's start off with number 3. The Nightmare Man. This is Tommy Knight's final appearance as Luke Smith. Well, final regular appearance anyway. The thing is though, this is about a nightmare man who pretty much says that Luke's dreams are so sweet and how juicy and that they are and how bad they are. But the thing is, these aren't really that bad. All he's just worrying about is that he's going to be replaced, or that Sarah Jane and that are going to forget about him. But seriously? That's the worst nightmare on this planet? Really? Really? And also, the whole story is just like a bit of a runaround. There's not really much. The Nightmare Man never becomes a serious threat throughout the story. He puts people in supposing nightmares, but these nightmares just seem slightly uncomfortable at best. Take, for example, Clyde's nightmare. He's working at some burger joint. Okay, that's everyone's worst nightmare, clearly. Oh, and what about Rani? Well, she's gonna reveal Sarah Jane to the world. That is slightly more of a nightmare, but even still, come on. The best part of this story, though, is with Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen, when Luke is unconscious and is sleeping, mainly the point where she's talking to the Nightmare Man, and she's trying to trick him into getting to Luke. But overall, this isn't a bad story, it's just a meh story. Other than the departure of Luke, there's not really anything notable about this story. It's just a series opener that has the departure of Luke and K9. Sorry for spoilers. So, at number 2, we have The Mona Lisa's Revenge. Really? The problem with this is probably a one that I dislike just because I find the Mona Lisa really annoying throughout. Why does she have to be a cocky teenager? Why? Even when I saw this as a kid, I just hated it. And that's the sad thing, because some of the other characters are good. For example, the curator of the art expedition. Yeah, he wasn't brilliant, but I think the actor gave a good performance. And also, we finally get to see Luke and Sarah Jane as mother and son properly, because now Luke is starting to make a mess of his room, just like all teenagers. Hooray! And at number 1, Eye of the Gorgon. Eye of the Gorgon, where there isn't really much of a threat to this story. Seriously though, the Gorgon does turn you to stone, but you have to be in the same room and you have to look at it, or at least you have to look at it long enough. There's a few scenes like when Luke is just trying to escape, he looks at the Gorgon and then these snake things come out the screen and he looks away and shuts the door, but he got a glimpse of the Gorgon, so that should be enough to turn him into stone. But whatever. The main problem I have with this is the nuns. Seriously, they capture Sarah Jane, Clyde and Luke by just walking towards them saying "serve the Gorgon" over and over again until they close them into a circle. Seriously, why don't they just try and fight them off? I know violence isn't always the answer, but you don't even have to use violence, just push through them. They're not armed. They're not even trying to grab you or anything, just shove through them, but no, they just stand there. Why? Why do you just stand there? Also, this story just feels really boring in places. Like, there's a lot of filler here, because the villain or monster or whatever isn't really that threatening, and it's not really very interesting. In fact, the best bits of the episodes are between Sarah Jane and whatever character she is talking to. Yeah, but that's the same with most episodes, so, I don't hate this. I don't hate this episode. In fact, I probably prefer it over the Mona Lisa one in some ways, but this one is just hard for me to watch just because I keep pointing out how they could easily get away. There's not really much to it. Just try and shove the nuns out the way, or at least try and run, but you allow yourself to get cornered by them? Seriously? But oh well, that does it for my top 3 worst Sarah Jane adventure stories. Again, I do actually like these stories, but these are definitely the weakest. They're not bad, I can still watch them, but they're just either uninteresting, dull, boring, or have an annoying character in them. So that's it for this countdown. Bye bye.